Skeleton warriors, da 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 da.
I thought you weren't gonna do that.
Now you know how it feels.
No, now I know how it feels if you taking our thing. You first complained about our thing, and then you're all like, oh, I'm gonna do it myself.
Dun dun dun.
Dragon's
Teacast.
Welcome to the Dragon's Teacast. My name is the T-Man, and I'm gonna change it to that because apparently you can do that.
And that's coming up in news today.
Or right now, if you want. Might as well.
Yeah. So some dude in, I don't even remember what country, doesn't matter, changed his name to his favorite tea brand. He went from being, Nathan Gardner to Nathan Yorkshire Tea Gardner. He changed his middle name to Yorkshire Tea.
Is that a trademark violation?
I don't know.
It's several types of violations, but I don't know if it's that in particular.
It violates nature at the very least. Anyway.
He says he drinks at least 15 cups a day, and we can imply that he's got poor taste. Yorkshire is the dusty.
Dusty.
Dusty. Speaking of tea, what are we drinking?
Not Yorkshire.
Not Yorkshire.
Not Yorkshire.
Trademarked.
We are drinking one of the several holiday teas that are now up on the dragonstreasure.com. This one is Candy Apple.
Trade asterisk.
Do you have to apply? I think you have to apply for a trademark, but not a copyright. Things are automatically copyrighted.
Oh, that's a relief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got your copyright, but not a trademark.
So yeah, this is one of them. Wait, no, Candy Apple's not one of the pony teas.
Nope.
This one's just named
you're
for the
thinking of
tea.
Applejack.
Yeah, I know. I almost said one of those pony teas. No, this is just a holiday tea. It's a black tea. It's pretty sweet.
After it's gone, it's gone.
And it actually doesn't taste very, very black.
Yeah.
It tastes like maybe an oolong.
Yeah, there was like half a second. Well, then again, I hadn't rinsed my palate, but there was a second that I almost thought it was. Yeah, like an oolong tea. It's got as I'm sipping it, it's got sort of like the mouthfeel of a black tea, but the flavor of a knot, which is like
yeah, kind
best
of
of all worlds.
It's like a texture almost.
Mm-hmm.
Like an after feel, not an aftertaste.
Exactly.
It's black tea from Sri Lanka with apple pieces and caramel flavorings.
Mm-hmm. That sounds about right.
Got a nice
Today,
smooth.
Nick says, sure. In as many ways possible.
Today I agree to things.
It's got a nice smooth taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
Also, earlier this week, Nick and I went on a date.
No, we didn't.
I heard about this.
You said you were going to agree to everything.
Let's use the
no,
democratic
I
principle.
did
Who
not
thinks
say
that they went on a date?
I did not say that.
Who says nay?
The T-Man.
2-0.
The T-Man
2-0.
The T-Man said we were going on a date after we went to see a movie together.
Which movie?
Which is a date.
It was called The Foreigner, the Jackie Chan movie that we talked about last week.
Oh, cool.
And then he called it a date.
No, he called it before that.
The movie began.
No.
Yeah,
The movie begins when you step into the theater and stuff starts happening on screen.
Fun fact.
Until the previews begin, the movie has not started.
That's also true.
Were there things on screen that were moving?
Who cares?
I care.
I mean, technically, Adam's always
good. It's good movie etiquette.
Adam's not always moving. We just can't see it, so technically everything's always moving. Your point is moot.
If mirrors aren't real, how can eyes be real?
Welcome to Dragon's Full Teacast. I am the T-Man, and then we can... Oh, wait.
We already did that.
Okay.
Mirrored time.
Don't break my mind like that.
I found out about your date before you did. I saw him an hour beforehand. He says, we're going to go on a date. And I'm like, aw. So I knew this was going to happen.
To clarify...
so he said it before the things were moving on screen.
There was no date. Okay, well, I didn't know about it.
I know, that's precious.
You should have been able to infer it.
You should have been able to infer it.
Wait. Did he
Two people going alone to a movie on a Friday night.
It was about 4:00. I don't know if that counts
4:30.
as night.
He even warmed up for you, man.
Yeah.
He was at the gym, getting ready. He's like, "Oh, I gotta go for my date."
Anyway, it was a good movie.
Yep. We'll go into
the company not as so much.
Hey.
What's wrong with Lionsgate, or what's the company that made it?
No, he meant.
I know what he meant.
I don't know
was
what
trying to
company. I don't know.
trying to
what
do the
company
table
made
flippy
it.
thing.
Yeah, table flippy.
Yeah, you're trying to make it into an insult against him, but I just made it against the company instead, so that they can come after you or something.
I don't think it was made by Lionsgate, because I would remember they make the best movies.
Yeah, or the worst, depending on who you ask.
Worst in a good way, though. The Transporter.
No, they make a certain type of movie where sometimes it's like hit or miss.
I think that if we're going to talk about like the flavor of the company, I think at one point they were all bitter, and then eventually that turned so bitter it turned into cringe, which makes it so good.
No, not even. I think they made Cabin in the Woods, and that's not.
All the movies make you go, this is just silly, I love it.
Yeah, well, Cabin in the Woods was pretty much they were bitter about horror movies, and so they just was like, look how stupid this is, guys, and just made this incredible.
Yeah, you're right.
So I'm just saying, it turns into I feed from the cringe.
I agree.
What does they do?
That was just right in your face that time.
They made Punisher Warzone. That was a fun experience.
Would you mind if we used the roof instead of the door? You're a fucking saint.
I rate Punisher Warzone out of Warzone. I rate Punisher Warzone meh out of 10.
You haven't seen it.
Yes, I have.
No, you haven't.
You keep insisting that I haven't seen it, but like you keep trying to get me to watch it, and I've already seen it.
You have not.
Just because you make out through the whole movie doesn't mean that you haven't seen it. Not that it was a date.
Checkmate, Nick.
This didn't happen.
What happened in the movie if you've seen it?
That never happened. I don't know. The Punisher killed a bunch of people.
Ooh.
He must have seen it. He must have seen it.
Come on. What happened?
There you go. You can't deny that.
Who said to quote John said?
My favorite guy.
It was some Russian guy or something.
Wrong. And 2 counts. Come on.
You know what? I care so little about that.
The Russians weren't even in this.
Is it the one where the guy gets fed into like a bottle crusher?
Yes.
There you go.
That was in the preview.
Yeah.
Preview.
No, it wasn't.
Like in a trailer.
Oh well, why would I watch a trailer for a movie that I actively don't want to watch?
Crunchyroll?
Huh?
They make me watch trailers for movies I don't want to watch all the time.
Okay, well, I don't watch my
Though to their
anime
credit-
on Crunchyroll.
Though to their credit,
and when
they
I
have-
do, it's on Yulian's account.
Whose account?
The T-Man.
He changed his name legally now.
Good work setting that up, idiot.
What?
I said your name and you're like, no, I want to remain anonymous. Now correct me to anonymous.
There you go. Problem solved. I see nothing wrong here.
Nick agrees.
Yeah. We'll go into more detail about the 402nd Infusion. The movie was surprising in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was not at all what I expected in any way.
Well, I kind of look forward to that. Second Infusion, I guess, today I'll be talking about the King's Game, and how they pretty much took a drinking game and turned it into a horror anime.
Wow, cool.
And I'll continue talking about Naruto the Wizard.
And I'll be talking about Harry Potter Reverse, the sequel, and The Ancient Magus Bride.
Oh,
which is,
that looks...
No, that's a different thing.
The animation looks beautiful.
It is.
I saw the first episode of that.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk about that later.
Right.
For now.
Yeah.
In terms of news stuff,
there's not a whole lot of news stuff today.
let's jump into what
we were
I want to talk about.
No,
I want to talk.
I'm not
this.
agreeing. Since we were talking about streaming stuff, Netflix is
Excuse me.
Shut up.
It wasn't that big of a news deal, John. Calm down. No, it's not. I didn't even get to the headline. I just mentioned Netflix. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Netflix in 2018 is producing 30 new, put that in quotes, anime series to be released.
One of them being Baki.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a news article a while back,
at some point,
which is how Baki came up in the first place.
Yeah, at some point we gotta watch Baki. You have not seen any of it, John. You haven't finished.
I read a few chapters, like when we started talking about that, and it was kind of cool.
Which part? Because
the very first one.
The very first one.
Chronological.
Because I don't think the very first chapters followed the anime. Because I think at some point he began writing it, and then he said, "You know what? I'm gonna just redo this," and then began anew.
It was kind of like a straight up. Martial arts thing, and then it was like, but there's an underground secret where we're really strong, and that's kind of what it was about. But then I had to read books for reasons, so I kind of never picked that back up. Oh, sorry, I did actual work.
We gotta watch the anime. It was made in 2000s. It looks like it's from the 80s. Even down to the music.
It was made in
the 80s,
yeah.
so...
No, but the anime itself was made in 2000 whatever, but it looks like it was like a classic 80s anime.
It really does. I had no idea it was that recent. And that
makes sense if they're using the original art style. Or does it have that 80s thick line to everything?
You'll be able to make your judgment. Yeah. It was to the point where I just assumed it was made in the 80s.
Oh. I see.
Like everything about like down to the music.
Did they have like bad voice acting and stuff?
Voice acting, as far as I remember, was pretty decent. I don't remember it being that bad. The style in general is kind of like odd, but it looked and felt like an 80s anime, and so I just assumed that was what it was. And they're like, "Oh, this is cute," but to hear that it was actually made in the 2000s, it's like that's dedication.
Mm-hmm. They wanted to have that authentic feel. Anyway, so Netflix is making 30 new animes. Apparently Baki's one of them, from what I remember, from what we remember.
Boku no Pico?
Probably not. They're spending $8 billion on it, which that's probably a lot.
$8 billion?
I spend it every ASIN.
I was like, $8 billion, and then I realized like I have no idea what kind of scale that is for 30 anime series.
The thing I worry about is I hope Netflix doesn't shoot itself in the foot, because with the way their stuff works is, it's you pay by the month. So more people watching doesn't necessarily mean they're going to make a crap ton more money. Because there's a lot of people who have Netflix and just kind of forget about like a gym membership. And when something happens, like, let's say, a new Marvel thing or something like this, people who are already subscribed jump on. And I'm not sure how many...
You mean people who had a subscription going but haven't been using it, then they start actually watching it, even though they were already paying for it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure how many people they hope to hook with this, especially with Crunchyroll being a thing. But I guess...
Well, they're all exclusives. That's the idea.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit more into the whole streaming online exclusive thing where Amazon's got its exclusive series, Netflix has a ton of their exclusive series. Does Hulu have their own things?
Exclusive stuff, yeah.
Like what?
I think The Man in High Castle.
No, that's Amazon.
It's Amazon? Then
Amazon's actually got a bunch of nice things.
I don't know.
I think I watched The Devil is a Part-Timer on Hulu.
Well, it wasn't exclusive, though.
Yeah, that's...
The thing is,
that can't be.
If they're putting in $8 billion, they would need to make, let's say, $1 billion in pure profit in a year. They would need to do that for 8 years running to make that money back. Which I do not see that happening unless there's something I'm missing here.
Well, it's like $8 a month or something, right? Or has it gone way up? It's probably like 12 now.
The most basic is 8, and then they have like 2 packages above that, which have increased by $1.
Yeah, actually, this is kind of interesting to me.
What are the higher packages?
How many people can watch at once?
Oh.
So, if they're going to be exposing this many exclusives, that sort of implies some sort of partnership, right? Meaning that if they make, if the companies make more on merchandising, does a cut of that go to Netflix?
That is a really good question, because a lot of anime is just a huge marketing ploy.
Exactly.
That's why there's a lot of 12-episode animes that just end with, and then the adventure continued, and you never see any more, even though it's like, okay, well, but this was a really good show, I want to see more. It's just like, well, okay, buy the books.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the books, buy some shirts, buy a little figure of a waifu holding up her skirt or something.
It's a trap.
100% cotton
Spoiler.
down there.
Ew.
Yeah, so I think that's probably where they're going to make a decent amount more money.
Well,
plus,
I'm
they're
not
going to put
sure
pressure.
if that was actually a part of the deal. If it would, that would be great for them. That would make a whole lot more sense now that I think about it.
That's what I can reasonably figure, and especially since it's exclusive, like it seems rather silly if they didn't, because Crunchyroll they have all kinds of merchandise. Like you scroll down on the screen and in the corner it pops up like, here's an action figure for the not an action figure, but those collectible figures for the anime that you're watching.
Yeah.
And I have no budget, but every time I look at it, I'm like, oh, that would be so nice. And my mouse gets closer and closer every time I accidentally scroll down and look at the comments.
Yeah.
But yeah, the unfortunate part with anime, speaking to all of you viewers, is that Luffy taught us all how to be pirates. And so we're kind of not very good at it to begin with, but we do it anyways. And so people like to kiss their anime. You know what I mean? They like to go and get their anime. You know what I'm saying? They
not with that one, no.
GoGoAnime.io?
No.
Oh.
Cut that out.
I get it.
I got the first one. I didn't get the second. But
illegal streaming service.
Yes, but I didn't get the reference.
They like to do all these things.
I've never heard of that one.
I guess you just have to be in the know. They like to.
Well, there's a torrent of places that you can get it from. In any case.
I saw what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Places.
I'm going to stop, actually. But they have all these places to go get them for free, and
to acquire them.
Didn't they do that at ASEN? Didn't you say it like at like a Crunchyroll panel?
Yeah. Okay, so no. What's his face? Nabishin, the director of Excel Saga
that guy.
and assorted other things, who's like a crazy like eccentric dude. People cosplay as him,
and he's
consistently,
and he's actually eccentric. You know, there's the people
actually eccentric.
Yeah,
yes,
as opposed to like, I wore different socks. Who? I'm so quirky eccentric. No, he is. Okay, you're weird, and I actually like you.
Yeah. There was somebody cosplaying as the girl from what's it called? Shimoneta.
Yeah.
And he's just like, why are you wearing panties on your head? And she's like, it's a cosplay. And he's like, there was like a 10-minute follow-up question about the panties on her head, and where were they acquired? Were they used? Are they inside out or not? And like, this was all taking up part of his panel. And it was just like he just decided to do this thing. Anyway, yeah, so the panel was I guess it was like a test viewing for his new show that nobody had seen before.
Wait, is that the one where the dude like turned into a cockroach or something? Was trying to save the world?
He turned into something. I don't remember what it was, but it was kind of weird.
He turned into a creepy fat dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, but I'm your boyfriend or father or something.
I'm your father.
And then,
Come here, give your daddy a kiss.
Your boyfriend or father, Nick?
I really don't remember.
Actually, the line is getting pretty blurry.
It was that weird. In any case, so yeah, it was basically like a market research kind of thing where it was like, do you guys like this? Would you want to actually have a translation of this? And then he shows a fan sub of it.
Oh,
and it had the Kiss anime icon in the corner. It was hilarious.
Everybody in the audience was in the know.
Everyone knew what was going on, and I don't think he did.
Oh, they think my show is funny.
Oh boy. What other fun stuff do we got going on today?
Well, finishing up on the Netflix thing, so the series that are confirmed so far, most of them I haven't heard of, but there's a couple that are like spin-offs of things. Violet Evergarden, Ico Incarnation, Sword Guy, the animation, Be the Beginning.
I hope that just made guy with a sword.
I was like, does this say guy or gal?
Made guy in Sword Art Online.
Lost Song. That sounds familiar. I think that might be based on a visual novel or something. Devilman Crybaby. That sounds like something I'd watch.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, Baki. Cannon Busters, Rika Lakuma, and Toei Animation's Knights of the Zodiac, Saint Seiya. I guess that's a remake.
Is that an old one, or is that...
That's a really old one, so it must be a remake.
Okay.
But yeah, that's that.
They're coming out with a new Knights of the Zodiac right now, right?
What?
They're coming out with a new Knights of the Zodiac right now, right?
Yeah, it's...
Well, if they are, then this is that.
Okay.
I was actually going to watch the new episodes of that, but then I forgot. It's on Crunchyroll.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, then where's this...
Well, maybe it's...
I don't know.
It involved Zodiac and fighting. I'm fairly certain it was Knights of the Zodiac.
That's just the Western name for Saint Seiya.
Boom.
Anyway, you look that up. I'm gonna talk about The Good Life again.
Oh no, it's called Zodiac Ward. What I saw.
Yeah, I didn't
That sounds right.
I didn't think so. The Good Life, which I keep talking about every single week. Yeah, the crowdfunding thing failed, of course. Though it did get $100,000 extra, like probably 2 days after we'd last talked about it. And
kind of short of its 1.5 million goal.
Yeah, it got
a bit.
It got a third of it. So last week I said that he was going to try and make it on his own, but apparently what he really meant, or maybe it got mistranslated, was he was going to do it on Kickstarter instead. It was on Fig, which is like a lesser known version of Kickstarter that has, I think I mentioned it before, you can you can pay way more and get a cut of the profits. But I guess it's got a worse reputation. I don't know. That's what people have been saying. Obviously, Kickstarter has a super good reputation, but
yeah, my response
kind of a weird thing. Yeah, your response summed it up pretty well.
My response is: there's a 7-second video. Type in kids rowing sinking boat.
It's just a canoe filled with water, and they're still rowing the boat, and somehow the boat's still floating, but not very well. Yeah, so I hope that'll work. I don't know. It probably won't. Next in the news, IGN acquires Humble Bundle.
No!
This is kind of weird. I guess Humble Bundle just grew too big for themselves.
I don't know.
That's some people's take on it. They started as kind of just like an indie thing that sells indie games, and now they're just a different version of Steam. So, I guess they're either probably second or third biggest online digital game store.
Here's how I imagine IGN's boardroom meeting after they bought this going. Okay, we have Humble Bundle. How can we make it worse? So at this point, they're so freaking incompetent. I'm pretty sure that's the goal, to just make things worse. Because you can only be bad at something so often before you have to, at least at some point, do something good on accident. They can't even do that. So I don't know what IGN is going to do, but I just know they're going to just fuck it up.
If they are incompetent, I kind of hope that was their meeting.
Meta.
Yeah, wow. That was good.
If they would
that really blew my mind, actually. I usually am like, hey, that was a pretty good joke. I get it, but that's like, whoa. Anyway,
he doesn't disagree.
Yes, I agree. Hopefully they won't change a whole lot and be kind of hands-off and just use it as a money marketing tool, which is
it's already pretty much set up, right?
Yeah, it's pretty much running itself. All they need is just workers and, like a management system. I mean, I guess I don't know why Humble didn't just hire people. Maybe they needed infrastructure or something, but
maybe they just want to retire.
Exactly.
That's true. Maybe they got a good offer, but
reminds me of a thing I read at a restaurant once.
Oh. What?
I think this was at like Jimmy John's or some silly like sandwich place. But anyway,
for some reason I thought you were going to say fortune cookie.
It would have been a long fortune cookie. So it's just this little plaque, and it says there was this guy down in Mexico selling fish from his stand, and this business guy walks by and it's just like, wow, this is amazing, you have such a good fish. And he's like, oh, thanks. He's like, so how many boats do you have? He's like, just one. And he's like, well, just one? You know of a good place to fish, obviously, because there's a lot of fish. You should totally, take the profits. What are you going to do with them? He goes, well, I'm going to go drink some cervezas with my friends tonight, and then go insert whatever adjective or verb you want with his wife, and then, get up in the morning the next day, go fishing, sell a few fish, have cervezas. And he goes, that's all you want to do? No, listen, you don't want to do that. What you want to do is you want to invest and get another boat. He's like, why wouldn't I do that? Because then you can use the profits from your 2 boats, double your profit, and then invest that and get a fleet of boats, and you can employ workers. He goes, okay, why, and what would I do then? Well, okay, then you corporatize your business after a while with all these workers buying in shares, and then after, 10 to 15 years, you can, make a bunch of money and you can retire. And he's like, okay, and then what do I do then? Well, I don't know. What would you want to do? Get up in the morning, go fishing, have a few beers or cervezas with my friends, and then go insert whatever verb you want with my wife. So anyways,
he means sex.
Is mayonnaise a verb?
Mayonnaise is sometimes a verb, I guess. I can't.
Hey, baby, you want a mayonnaise?
Assume it's language characteristics.
That was also very meta.
So, anyways, it's just like, yeah, you could do a whole bunch with it, sure, but like at a certain point, just freaking retire, and enjoy what you're doing. And I imagine at this point, it's gotten so big, it's kind of tough to enjoy what you're doing.
Hey, baby.
Well, they've also kind of changed their original methods a lot, and even like before this, people were saying that they were kind of selling out, because it used to be just like, here's 6 games, you pay what you want, that's it. And that was the way it was working for a long time. And they were always indie games and, lesser known developers. And people would actually pay what they thought it was worth, because, you're trying to help out these little guys. Then bigger companies started to get involved, and then it became a thing because, they need to actually make their money. And it turned into kind of like a tiered system where it was, you pay $1 minimum, and then you can get, the trash games for $1. And sometimes, they're okay. It's like something you'd want. But usually the best games, it's like you have to beat the average price. So the more people buy into the better games, the more it's going to be. So that happened, and where it's at now, they added another tier where it's like, okay, so there's the $1 tier, there's the beat the average tier, and then there's sometimes it's $10 or $15, and then that's where it's like, you get the hot new game or whatever.
Yeah, but you know what? I've seen those things, pay $10 to get like 28 programs of something. It's like, okay, I will.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad system, and people who are...
Yet.
Yeah. People who are saying that they're selling out, it's just like, well... You were getting games for $1 before. Come on, guys.
Quit your bitching.
Yeah, you're getting like $100 worth of games for $6, and you're complaining that they're selling out.
Also, I think it's really
stop whining.
I think it's really smart that they jumped on the new games, because if your goal is to help indie games and you have a platform to help them, if you team up, if you offer the big games, the people that go there for the big games are then going to be exposed to the lesser, the smaller games.
That's true to an extent. There's been a lot of things where it's like, okay, here's the new bundle, and I look at it and it's like, there's like the trailer video on for each one, and it's like, okay, instant no. This kind of looks interesting. This thing I've never heard of. So I'll get a bundle, and half the games I never play.
But they get their money.
Well, another thing is, this is a really good feature. So you can go in there and, it's kind of hidden, but there's like a little tab, and it's got a list of all the developers, or sometimes it's all the games. So you can it's like on a sliding scale of where the proportions of how much you're paying go to which games.
That's cool.
So if I know for a fact that I'm never gonna pay it, or that I'm never gonna buy it, or if it's something that I already own, I'm just gonna set it to 0. Or if sometimes it's a game that maybe I already have, but it's a good game that deserves it, I'll still keep it at there, even though I know that I'll never play it. Or if it's a game that I want more than others, I'll raise the scale up a little bit. So it's a nice little system that kind of, balances, how much the thing's actually worth to you.
That's neat.
And another neat thing is that some of it goes to charity, and you can control that scale too. And so I have my thing set to Wikipedia, which is, it's kind of weird because, like, every
percentage
year,
Wikipedia.
Every year it has like the little thing where it's like, we don't have ads, so give us $1, and it's like, well, no. Go away, stop bothering me, but I've also probably given you like $20 this year. Not that much, probably not.
Well, my prediction is in 6 months we're going to see IGN Humble Bundle, games by Zoe Quinn and people just like her. Depression Quest, the sequel.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Actually, IGN is one of the few companies that hasn't been accused of journalistic mishandling, I think.
Sure?
I don't think they were part of... I don't know about if they were part of that, but I know that they haven't been accused of... Well, they have been accused because everyone's been accused of it.
I know they've made toxic posts in the past. I know for sure.
They haven't been seen to like sell review scores. Like a lot of companies.
No, wait, weren't they the ones who were in the whole Kane and Lynch 2 fiasco?
I don't even know what that is.
It was basically somebody gave, it had to be IGN. Somebody gave a game that came out many years ago a bad review, like 6 out of 10. And it was something which they were paying advertising into the site. I'm pretty sure it was IGN, and then IGN canned them for giving the bad review for something that was giving them money.
That might be the case, but still, yeah, you shouldn't be advertising games on when you're going to review that. I mean, that's kind of a weird situation when you're like the people are paying you to advertise a game, and then you say don't buy it. And that's another issue with this, because Humble Bundle is publishing indie games, and they're going to be reviewing them. So it's another matter of a conflict of interest. A lot of people are freaking out about, oh, they're going to ruin everything, but that's also a huge deal. And of course, IGN is like, we're going to conduct it with fairness as we always do.
It was GameSpot.
Yeah, GameSpot's terrible.
Speaking of terrible people,
yes,
GameInformer had acquired some exclusive not interviews and previews and whatnot for Dragon Ball FighterZ, and they are blowing it hard, really hard. So far, the subreddit for that is just they're pissed off, they're almost livid, just because they're wasting potential so much that it's a little bit over the top.
I haven't read the whole thing, but it appeared in my mailbox today, and I read like 2 pages of it before you guys got here. So, I mean, it just seemed like... did you know that there's going to be a fighting game coming out, and it's going to be about Dragon Ball? So there could be, more as it goes on. It's like the main story. It's the cover story. So, their articles are kind of hit or miss. Sometimes it's great. Sometimes it's just like the basic stuff.
Yeah.
So I'll have to read that and
there's been a bit of
make my own decision. I mean, if you're looking on the subreddit for a niche thing, it's on one hand I get it. They have an exclusive rights to an interview, and they bumble it by making it like, okay, so Goku's gonna be in this, right? Cool.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Goku in a second, but there are also going to be buttons you can hit while playing this game.
Who was it?
Can you do combos?
I think it was...
Are there going to be specials?
Going back to IGN, I think it was them that did that interview when, like, a week after the game was announced, and they said, like, the stupidest stuff, like, so, these 6 characters we see, is that going to be all of it? And...
Oh, I'm not saying that they're any good at reviewing or have any kind of talent. I'm just saying I don't think that they were caught up in any scandals.
I know, this is just in general, just Dragon Ball FighterZ, people being competent. Things like, is this going to be only 6 fighters in this game? This AAA game? And so what happens after the character's health goes down to 0?
So
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You summon the dragon.
Then between fights, you have to go out
the
and
answer
collect
might
all the
surprise you.
Dragon Balls.
I forgot about that. This game's going to have Dragon Balls.
What?
Yeah. If you do certain things in the game, Dragon Balls come out. We don't know what it's going to do yet, but they said it's going to be something which no fighter game has done before. So it sounds like it'll be a mechanic.
I want to stop. I want to actively stop learning about this, like I did with Dark Souls and Skyrim, just because that intrigues me so much. I want it to be a surprise for when I pick up the game.
Mm-hmm. Right now, nobody knows what they're going to do.
I want that to stay like that until it's released.
Is this how clickbait starts? What happens when in Dragon Ball FighterZ when the HP drops to 0? The answer may surprise you.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, no, it will not surprise us.
The answer will not surprise you, but the method will. The answer will not surprise you, but it should. Speaking of GameInformer, so I went to GameStop today. I got the South Park game, and you know how they have the special reward card that you can pay a subscription to and get the extra stuff.
See.
So guess what they have now?
What do they have?
They have a second tier for that for $30 a year, and it gives you more points and stuff.
Did you do it?
No, why? I'm not an idiot.
Aren't those points like you got to spend $100,000 before they give you a special plastic ring or some crap? Really over the top. This is not worth it.
No, it's actually pretty good. I don't know what the point to stuff ratio is, but if you so here's what the thing is. The free one is just a rewards card. You get 10 points for every dollar spent. I think it's 10,000 points gets you a $10 off coupon.
So you spend $1,000. You get
no, $100.
100?
Yeah, 100 times.
$100 gets you $10 off, which is pretty good.
Wait a second. How many points do you need? 10,000?
10,000.
And then how many points does $1 get you?
It's 10.
$1 gets 10 points. 10 gets 100.
I've gotten this several times in the last year, and I have not spent several $1,000s at GameStop.
Have you?
No, I haven't.
Have you?
I haven't.
Look at me.
You also get points for trading stuff in, so that might contribute. But anyway, the pro thing is what I have, and that's 20 points for every dollar. So, that is also a factor.
You're also a factor.
Yeah, 100.
I haven't spent $500 on games either.
Wait a second. I just did math, but then I forgot what I did the math for.
10,000 divided by 10 is 1,000.
10,000 divided by 10 is 1,000.
You don't need a calculator for that. Okay, so
but why did I do that?
Because we're idiots. Anyway,
I'm a business owner.
$1,000. Yeah, $1,000 gets you $10 off.
Hey.
Someone's an addict.
No, this can't be true. Well, in any case,
Nick,
I have the mid-tier now.
I'm taking your computer away.
I have the mid-tier one, which gives 20 points, which would be $500, but I still haven't spent $500 multiple times.
Or have you?
No, I haven't.
Clearly somebody is in the wrong here.
I don't have a problem, guys. I haven't ever done it.
Yeah.
I've got the benefits. I've just never put in the work.
I can quit any time.
I bought 10 games, which is $500.
Those are expensive games, Nick.
Which is $500 which is $500, but I haven't done that. I haven't bought like 70 games.
Hey, Nick, how many games are on your Steam?
Over the past 15 years?
Yeah.
Most of those are from Humble Bundle.
Go on.
Keep going.
That's
We
like
want a
20
number,
bucks.
Nick.
That's like
We don't want
$20 there.
Nick, give us a number.
300 so.
Oh.
Oh no, so many Humble Bundle
Let's see,
games.
300
That's 20
times
games a year.
50.
Oh yeah, I paid $50 for let's see. What's the first thing that pops up? Yeah, I paid $50 for Pony Island.
Did you?
No.
Wait, go back to Pony Island.
You want to know about Pony Island?
I do want to know about Pony Island.
It's like a horror. This isn't Pony Island. Where is Pony Island?
It's
Here.
like that pony I posted earlier.
It's a horror. It's like an hour and a half long horror game about Pony Island, I guess. I don't know. I haven't played it yet.
How have you not played Pony Island? Nick, you're like the biggest My Little Pony fan.
Stop confusing me with yourself. There you go. There's the trailer for Pony Island. Are you happy?
What just happened? Wait. I don't like this music.
Okay, well,
It's scary.
I'll turn it off for you.
Thank you.
In any case,
Alright, so now we know
they
Nick
have
has a
they
problem.
have the third tier of
Game addiction.
of game addiction for $30 a year. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Are you saying you don't agree with it?
I'm saying if you're gonna have a membership thing, you don't need tiers for it. Like, okay, so one of the problems with GameStop is that they keep trying to upsell everything. So it's like, okay, good for you. You bought the membership reward card thing. You want to double down? Please.
You wuss? Come on.
It's like, how much more can we try to upsell people?
You know what really confuses me about this?
Everything?
They have 1, 2, 3, 4 different stuff on the list of like what you get by membership, which none of the memberships give you. Why'd they put this on?
Let me see.
Like,
What things?
look at the last 4. None of the memberships give you them. Why are they even listed?
No, it's the things that are highlighted, but they're just not numbers. You just get it. It's a Boolean variable.
What? Don't use big words like that. What just happened?
Laugh into the microphone, John.
No. I did the, what was the chocolate rain guy? I moved her away to laugh. I don't know why that hit me as hard as it did, but it really did.
It's a Boolean variable? I don't... Is this some play on that dude's name?
Look it up.
What dude?
The guy you keep saying his name who doesn't have anything to do with this.
Oh my god, I don't even know what you're talking about now.
Good answer.
God, I thought for a second you gave me a nosebleed.
Man, that must have been a hard laugh.
It was, but luckily it's just a reaction to the fall weather.
Right, whatever. Back at the plot. What else we got?
I think that's pretty much it.
Yay! So join us in the second infusion.
Wait.
What?
Isn't there stuff to talk about?
I thought we did already.
Oh, well, okay.
Before the news.
But by the way, I played the first maybe an hour of that South Park game.
Uh-huh.
Did you guys play the first one at all?
Yep.
No.
So it's a lot like the first one, but it looks so much better. It looks better than the actual show.
Oh wow, nuts!
Not hard to do, but like it looks like the actual show, but better.
But better.
It recreates the show, but
Is it better balanced? Because the last one, you can just break it so easy.
It's a different type of combat, and I haven't done a whole lot of combat yet, but It's now a like tactical grid movement thing instead of
like Final Fantasy Tactics.
I haven't played that, but I think so.
Oh, come on! What was the game with Marth?
Fire Emblem, yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
A bit like that.
I don't know why I could think of Final Fantasy Tactics, but not Fire Emblem. Like, first I want Fire Emblem. I can't think of that name.
One's probably more iconic to you than the other.
Fire Emblem is.
Okay.
But I'm like, I can't think of that name, so what's the other one?
That's kind of surprising.
Like,
most people...
My line of thought was literally, what's the other one? Final Fantasy Tactics.
Most people our age grew up with Final Fantasy Tactics, not Fire Emblem.
Oh well. That's why we suck.
Well, to be fair, nobody in America got them until, like, 10 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I think there might have been, like, some NES ones, but I don't think so.
Nah.
The hardcore nerds, we were, like... It just boggles my...
a bunch of Game Boy Advanced ones. I don't know. There might have been some...
Talking to old school nerds boggles my mind. Like, we have it so easy. We can go to Crunchyroll and complain because we have to watch the commercials, or wait like half a week. Back in the day,
or because because Dragon Ball isn't up at 8:15.
Yeah, exactly. The old school nerds, like, they talked about getting the VHSs, figuring out how to dub it, and writing on the film.
Yeah.
In order to get it dubbed, it's like, what?
I don't know how you could do that.
Neither do I. And, like, they would buy the Japanese consoles to play the game where there's no, translation.
Yeah, well, you still have to do that.
Well, yeah, but less so. They release a lot here now.
Yeah, that's true. But also, more consoles are region-free. I think Nintendo's the only one that still does it. Nintendo, always living in the past.
That's their thing.
Anyone who has a Switch and is listening, tell us how the online system is broken or not. If it's not, I want to know.
And I guess this week in tea, we'll keep it short. You can name yourself after your favorite tea. We have lots of teas you can name yourself after.
It is perfectly legal to name yourself after tea.
I'll make one mention of a potential thing next week. We should be getting a new character for fighters by next week.
Ooh.
Or a preview for one, at least.
Well, there was a one for Gohan this week, but it's
but we
not
already
really
knew
worth
about Gohan.
mentioning.
Yeah.
I mean, who cares about
I mean,
Gohan?
like a new
Stupid
character.
kid.
It's fun because now we've got all the, of course, characters out of the way. Now it's a fun game of, I wonder who they'll put in.
I want Hit to be in it.
Me too.
Yeah, because he'll actually have... You can do a lot with his fighting style. Some characters I can see the struggle.
And I could see Hit being a character that's, like, the opposite of, easy to get into and hard to master. Hard to get into... But once you're into him, you're easy to master him.
I see.
Yeah, he seems like sort of like mid damage, but with lots of tricks.
Yeah, lots of tricks.
A counter fighter.
Yeah,
Lots of counters.
He'd be fun.
Yeah, because that's how he fights. He waits till opponents to attack.
I thought you meant like counter specific character.
No, counter punches from anybody.
Counter choice.
Yeah. And like a phase out thing for super attacks. It goes into those time skip thing.
Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, you'd need like a lot of reaction time or a fast reaction time to be able to do whatever inputs you need, and he'd probably have like a teleport kind of thing. That's not a teleport.
This would make it really hard, but it'd be kind of satisfying if you get it right. They're gonna have blocking and stuff. If there's a button to block, like instead of
it's
blocking,
just gonna be back.
Yeah, press back and you block.
Probably. But if you time your blocks correctly, you just phase out. So instead of taking like half damage or quarter damage, you
that's
get nothing.
good. And in other Arc Sys games, different characters have different types of blocks. So like somebody, it's like they just do like a standard like I am blocking you kind of thing, but others they like wink out of existence like that, like exactly what you were kind of thinking.
Nice.
Assuming.
The only semi-modern day fighting game I can think of with like that is Tekken. They have that boxer guy. You press buttons and he like bobs
dodges,
and weaves.
yeah.
Then you can throw counters after you dodge something. Something like that. Instead of bobbing and weaving, you phase in and out.
He's kind of cool because you don't even have to dodge something to counter. Like one of your stronger punches is you weave. Let me think. You weave right, and then you have a haymaker swing with your right. And so like as you're coming back from your weave, if you're punching, it does so much more damage if you connect. It's a short range, like haymaker, but he's fun.
Are you saying Tekken's the only fighting game you can think of where you have to press a button to block?
No, Tekken's the only game I can think of because I don't play too many fighting games that I can actually think of a counter fighter that does a lot of counters and whatnot and specializes in that type of gameplay.
I'm not sure like what exactly you mean by a counter fighter.
Like the opponent does something, you do something to dodge the punch and hit back before they have a chance to do something else.
I'm thinking...
Okay, actually, what's it called? Smash does that.
Smash
has like if a character doesn't have anything special to do for their down B, that's what they have. Like all the sword characters have counters for their down Bs.
Alright, so let's wrap this guy up and move into the second infusion where we get to spoil.
And until then, it'll be in a second. But in the meantime, you can send us your whatevers at the Teacast, not the Teacast, just Teacast at thedragonstreasure.com.
And whatevers could mean anything.
Cosplay.
Yeah.
Love letters.
Yeah.
Hate mail.
Please don't send us hate mail. That would be mean.
We'll read it on the air.
Also, we'll get you arrested if you live in probably most of Europe.
Oh.
So, be careful. Okay.
Okay.
I was trying a different genre.
You certainly were.
Welcome to Dragon's Flow Teacast, second infusion.
This is the second infusion. I haven't tasted our tea yet. This is...
Like, not even the first infusion?
No, I did.
Oh, okay.
The second infusion of black tea is usually not as good. Yeah. But this is solid, yeah.
Good.
Okay, good.
Alright. I'm going to dive right into my Root to the Wizard, because mine's going to be the quickest.
Before you do that, I have one more thing to say about South Park. So when you're creating your character, you've got all of like the character customization options, and then you choose your hair and your clothes colors and stuff, and then it's like, okay, next screen, and then it's like difficulty. And I'm like, wait, how does this difficulty work? And it's just a slider of skin color. And then you hear Cartman's voice, and it's like, oh no, don't worry, this isn't how it works in the game. Just it affects your real world situation. So it doesn't actually change the difficulty, it just changes that's the skin's color selector.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Right. So, The Root to the Wizard, episode 3. It was about 17 minutes of, you said this already in the first 2 episodes, you waste the space. And then 3 minutes of actual stuff. It began just like Naruto episode 1.
I'm assuming you mean, that was your reaction, not people actually in the show saying that.
No, it was my reaction.
Okay. Just making sure.
So it began with Naruto episode 1 of the crazy demon destroying the town, and then the Wizard King / whatever Hokage beating it, and be like, hey, look at me, I'm awesome, I'm gonna pass this down to generations. And then it was just freaking...
Pass what down? The mysterious power?
Pass down his title of Hokage / Wizard King. And then it was just 15 minutes of repeating everything we already know of the main character. I'm going to work hard and shout like this with every sentence.
Is it?
It gets annoying.
You're watching it subbed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll fix that with the dub.
They better,
Yeah.
because it's really annoying. And I've looked at comments, everybody else seems to think so as well. It's like, if you were trying to play this off as something, you're doing a bad job. I hate the main character. I really hate him. So just like him training again, people again being like, he has no magic, but he has the 5 black leaf clover. It is a mystery. Can an orphan who is poor really succeed? It's like, oh my god, why are you doing this? This is just not fun. We get it. You could have literally taken this away. Nothing would have changed. Nothing. Zero. Zip. Nada. And then like the last 2 minutes was them going to the Chunin exams and having like mini adventures along the way of like fighting boards and, oh no, a rock slide. I'm gonna use my sword and I'm gonna use magic to save everything. And finally they were about to make it and the episode ended, leaving me with a case of blue balls for something I just don't care about anymore.
Well, you failed. It failed the 3 episode test, so you don't have to watch anymore.
I almost want to continue watching a train wreck, though.
Is it a train wreck, or is it just
maybe I'll pick up the manga?
A bleeding out corpse.
Maybe. They also did the preview thing.
Or a guy in a coma, maybe.
They also did the preview thing of, like, they don't know what dangers await them for the Chunin exams. And the character designs...
As it shows the dangers?
Yeah. And, so they show, like, some of the characters they'll have to be facing. All I can think of is, yep, this is Naruto. Look at those characters. Okay.
When was the manga released?
I have no idea.
Manga.
Uh-huh.
But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Just, like, 17 minutes of nothingness. Really stupid and annoying. Failure. I'll give it a F-. So, I'm done. Next.
Well, I guess I'll go, since my show also had a tune-in exam. I didn't talk about UQ Holder episode 2 last week, did I?
You talked about the show in general. I don't think you mentioned episode
Maybe
specifics.
I talked about episode 1. Anyway.
Yeah, you talked about episode 1, not 2.
So, yeah. Episode 2, the gang assembles, kind of. New character introduced. And, of course, it's, rival character comes to kill them, and power of friendship happens, after much dismemberment. I like this show.
We know Nick's fetish.
It's not dismemberment.
You sure?
Yes.
Explain that doll.
Well, I was wondering where midgets came into this. I'm like, I thought... Anyway, go on.
That was a good setup. Anyway, yeah. And then at the end of episode 2, they find out that the very feminine-looking boy who comes to kill them is also immortal. And so they're like, why don't we start an organization about where all immortal people can kind of hang out together. And then Sensei is like, well, turns out, plot twist, I already did. And then a bunch of cars drive up, and she's like, and we're gonna go... They picked us up to go take us to them. Yeah.
Are they gonna go on adventures?
No, they're gonna have a tune-in exam.
Oh.
now.
So the Chunin exam, or I guess it's the Genin exam happens. So,
keep talking.
Stop,
you can't just
stop doing that.
Fine.
So it was kind of a departure from the manga in
manga. Go on, Nick. We're waiting.
What was my motto in the first half?
I agree.
I agree.
And okay, well, I agree.
I don't agree.
Oh, that was a twist.
Anyways, yeah, so...
a new twist on an old classic.
The show has them... the setup is they have to just attack one person, and then they can get into the club, officially.
They just have to attack them?
Land a blow. So they're both, like, pretty, well trained in comparison to the average person, so they're like, "Oh, this will be no problem," and they go in, and it's like the person's just like casually stepping out of the way, and the other person is like, "I hate you for stealing senpai away from me for so long that well, she had to watch over you." Anyway, so, yeah, stuff happens, and, they have a week to land a blow, and they're kind of off in a corner for some reason, and, a maid walks past, and, they offer to help her take some boxes somewhere, and they end up going into this abyss cavern underground underneath the headquarters, and there they find this guy who kind of trains them, and then they have the duel and land the blow. And this is like a terrible version of what happened in the manga, because in the manga, they're just like the floor falls out underneath from them, and it's like, okay, you can't, you pass your test when you come out, when you make your way out of the underground caverns. So they in the manga they talk to the guy who's down there, and he's kind of just like, yeah, I've been down here for fun. I could leave, but it'd be, kind of a pain because there's monsters down here. So they're like, how long have you been down here? 30 years or so. Because everyone's immortal. Mm-hmm. And then it's them just like training to fight against these monsters who are way more powerful than them. And the average time to pass the test is like decades or something. So it's...
And they did it in a 20-minute episode.
They do it in like a couple days or something, of course. And it's kind of cool, because in both versions, there's like a sword and a stone, and
I've heard of the story.
The sword talks to main character guy, and he goes to pick it up, and he
from the United Kingdom, I'm looking for heaven. I'm going to California.
It's not Excalibur. No, but he goes to pick it up, and he's like, oh, it's actually really hard. It's stuck in there pretty good.
That's what she said.
And so he has trouble getting the sword out, and then
it's
like, oh, whatever. I don't want a sword anyway. It'll just be a bother to carry around. I could use my fists.
That's what she said.
What?
It didn't make sense at the time either, but
anyway.
Which reminds me, just really quick, D&D. using your tongue is it's a vastly underrated organ. We turned one of the bad guys to a party member because, I mean, like, people overestimate their short swords. They just wave those about and stab things, and that's what they think it's all about. But a tongue, vastly underrated, can give you far more. We got a torchbearer.
Well, that was a very good out of context story.
You're out of context.
Anyway, yeah, so then the sword's like, oh, just turn the dial. And so he turns the dial, and it's like, he pulls it right out. So it's a sword that you turn the dial, and it adjusts the weight. So it's kind of like Goku's training as he's on his way to Namek. But what was also interesting is you can turn it the other way, and it inverts it lowers the gravity coefficient. So when he's in the fight against his target, he's like, well, okay, so I'm gonna try 50,000 times strength. That didn't work. Okay, what if I try 0.1, and then he's suddenly super fast?
Lightsaber.
No, just fast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you meant a very a lightweight saber.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's one of the benefits of a lightsaber.
I see. All right. Well, that's all I got.
That sounds like fun. Wait, was this the Mages Academy? What was it?
Negima?
No. The other one, the new one that we said earlier. The art looks amazing.
Oh, the Ancient Magus Bride?
Yeah. Did you watch that, or?
Yes.
Was that this?
No, that wasn't this.
What happened in the...
This is you. I'm talking about UQ Holder.
UQ Holder. Well, okay. There's the show that I watched. It was plenty disturbing. So, trigger warning for those light of heart or stomach.
Out of all the things we were saying,
I'm just saying it's.
I don't need a penis. I got my fist. Now we need a trigger warning.
That's hot, though.
No.
Oh,
it's not.
Sorry, that's right.
It's painful.
You're pretending. So, in I guess this is a Japanese drinking game. It might be done elsewhere, but basically, the drinking game is called the King's Game, and it's pretty much truth or dare with cards.
I had this on my interested list, so I'm eager to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so it was just funny to me knowing that this came from this game, because the only one I know offhand, just off the top of my head, is an ace means a waterfall. So you start, and everyone has to do it. Like, they're compelled to obey the rules. And you start drinking, and you can only stop when the person next to you stops drinking. And so there's all these other truth or dare, but no truth type things that you must do, and then you're punished.
Wait a minute. You can only stop if the person next to you stops drinking.
Yeah.
Everybody's drinking.
So the first person loses.
The first person loses, and then usually there's some sort of punishment for it. Maybe they take a shot or something. But it's supposed to be really hard. Like, it's not like beer pong, where, oh, you missed, you can try again next time. It's just like, it's supposed to be ridiculous and difficult. So anyway, that's one of the origins this gets. So it's basically that meets truth or dare, but again, without the truths. The main character strolls into the room, and he's got kind of long anime. It's brown hair, but it's long anime Sasuke hair, and they do a good job setting it up, because the first sequence you see is a dream, and it's like a nightmare dream, of course, where he's being punished to drown to death, and so he's drowning, and then this beautiful character comes to save him. And because he was punished to drown to death, and she stopped that from happening, presumably, it's not explained very well, but it's a dream sequence, so it's not supposed to be super clear. She's punished, and so she just gets chopped into a million pieces, and he's sprayed with her blood, and it's really traumatic. And then he wakes up, and then they set up a different side, because there's two sides of the story going on. There's, like, the teen angst, which is what that is, and there's also, like, the prospect hope of joy, where they're doing a relay, and one of the characters trips in the relay, and then he makes up the time, and then this pretty redhead, he hands it off to her, and she's crazy fast, and so they win. Yay! And And so it's like, okay,
this is all like prelude?
Yes, exactly. And so this is all right before you actually get like a solid sequence. And so it's like, okay, I sort of see what they're setting up, kind of. He comes into the class, and he's just down. He says, in this sort of hollowed out voice, "This is my name. I'm here." And I'm like, all right, let's welcome to the class.
Transfer student.
Exactly. And so the teacher's like, your seat is in the back corner.
Back window.
Actually, precisely that.
Back left window.
Back right window, but pretty much, yeah.
Really? They did the right window? Oh my god.
Damn. These guys
gutsy
getting creative.
move.
And so he sits down, and the pretty redhead that took the thing in the last one,
She's a slut.
she's like, "Oh, hi, I really like you for some reason."
I called
He's
it.
like, "Leave me alone." And she's like, "Can I call you this cute name?" "No, you can't." "Okay, cute name." And
Wait, she was the one that got cut up or whatever?
she was the one that took the in the relay race. She took the final thing was super fast, and they won because of her.
Gotcha.
And it's sort of implied that she just looks like a character that was like, it's pretty vague at this point, because so I'm sort of building up to that. And all these so he moved from the city to this country bumpkin place, and they're like, "Whoa, why'd you move out here?" You know? "Oh, yeah, and let's all be friends." And he's just like, "Leave me alone." And the one guy's like, "Oh, come on," and goes to pat him on the head, and he slaps his hand away, super angsty, and everyone's like, "Oh," and he's just like, "I don't want friends." And then the one redhead girl is just like, "I like you." So anyways, that's the whole dynamic.
Wow.
That night, everyone gets a text, and you see him just like, "Of course, there is no escaping this. I can't believe I'm going to go through this hell again," sort of thing. And then he gets to class, and everyone's laughing about it, because it's the text is like, "You are now all part of the king's game. You cannot drop out midway through. You must do what the king orders, or you shall be punished." And the first order was he has to kiss that redhead girl, or the redhead girl has to kiss him. I think they have to kiss. And they're just like, "Oh, man, that was a really elaborate way. If you just liked her, man, you should just, like, said so." And he's like, "No, we all are going to die. You have to obey the king's orders." And they're like, "Man, what a whipped guy." And he's just like, he gets really passionate. He's like, "No, we're all going to die. Don't you get it?" And they're like, "Hey, a joke's a joke, but this isn't funny." And so they beat him up. And he goes through this angsty phase where he's just like, "You know what? If I'm going to die, I might as well be one of the first people to die." He's just like super hollowed out, and he's like, "But can I really kill her?" And so there's this existential crisis. He has until midnight, and so he just goes and hides. And of course she finds him, and they get the king's messages through text message. Mm-hmm. And so he's just waiting for the moment for his punishment, pretty much. And so she climbs a fence that he was behind, metaphors. And they get the text, and he's like, "The punishment will soon come." Oh well. And then she kisses him, and then he gets another text, and it says, whenever they complete a thing, it says something to the effect of obedience confirmed. And the first text was somebody else, basically like, "Hey, I sent her your way, man." He's like, "Oh no, I've done the thing." And that unlocks like a slew of other messages, they then are not allowed to get deep rest. And so everyone that was asleep at that point hangs themselves as a punishment for disobeying the king's order. And yeah, so he actually is like, "Who lives the closest to here? Quickly, now." And she goes, "Well, this Chan." And it doesn't matter, because so he runs there, and he just bangs on the door, "Let me in." And the dad's like, "What the hell?" And he pushes the dad out of the way, and the dad's like going to beat him up. But he just like runs into the room, and the person is hanging there but still alive. Uh-huh. He cuts the rope down, and this person's eyes are just bulging out of their sockets. And he's just like, "Call an ambulance. His face is messed up." And everyone that's still alive gathers, and they all blame him for this at first. And one of the people has he has to do something, and so he's just beating him up, and he's like, "No, you got to do the thing." And as he's beating him up, he's like, they get a text that's that person gets punished, and he just boils up in these red blood boils, and then his eyes go red and pop out of the sockets and explode, and it's just really
pretty gory, huh?
Yeah, it's just this gruesome, awful death, and everyone sort of looks at him for a second. And the redhead, her next order is she has to sleep with some guy. And so she's just like, but I love the main character. Can we just do it first? The first time should be special. And he's just like, no, I'm not gonna, no, what?
And why would I do that?
Then, by the way, I said that she's a redhead, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think that she is?
A witch.
It starts with a C and rhymes with Drazy.
Crazy.
She crazy. So all of a sudden, she does a complete character switch, and she's just like taking off her clothes, like, you, get on the floor. We have to do this now. I'm going to survive this. And she just like completely character swaps. And so you find out that her parents were dead, and you thought that she was dealing with this really well, but apparently she's just the craziest of the bunch. And so the characters are all sort of falling into place. You've got the sort of submissive characters, and you've established that the girl is pretty much, I'm going to survive by any means necessary, and the guy, he just wants to save everybody. He's like, we have to work together. If we gotta bang a few bitches, we're just gonna have to do it, okay?
So be it.
Like, I don't care. I'll be the catcher, you know? And she's just like, you understand they've beaten you up like 6 times in these last 2 episodes. And he's like, I don't care. If I can save them, that's my Nindo. And so she basically hears him say that and go, oh, really? You don't care? Okay. I'm being raped by him. And so then they beat him up again. And
oh, my God.
So there's a...
Hashtag me too.
Exactly. But so she's sort of manipulating class away from him. There's a few people that are kind of skeptical. But they have to obey the king. And through this main character, this main plot that I've sort of led you through, he basically has PTSD. He has flashbacks, and so you gain further insight into it as time goes on. And so he basically flashes back parallel because his last class this happened. He's the lone survivor.
Yeah, I kind of got that.
Yeah. And so you see what happened with his friend. In the last class, it's basically what happens. It's like Lord of the Flies. Where, like, if you give kids power, the king always gives one person the ability to give orders for a day. And in the last one, whatever the king is, he's a super shithead. Like, obviously, he's, like, making these high school teenagers, like, grope each other and sleep with each other and kiss each other. And, like, what are you? In the last class, his best friend had to sleep with this one girl who had a boyfriend. And then the king gave the boyfriend the power of the king.
Oh.
Yeah, so that didn't end up so well for his friend. And now another asshole's got the power. And so we don't know what he's going to do with it. But there's pretty much the established rules of the show are that you're going to get a text message, and you have 24 hours unless otherwise specified to complete the task. If you don't, you'll be punished. And so far, all the punishments have been like death. Where people were compelled to hang themselves, so there seems to be some sort of element of mind control. Or they'll just have, like, I don't know what that was. It was like stage 14 cancer. Whatever happened to that guy.
14.
Just boils everywhere. I mean, it's really gruesome. There's something very off-putting about the shots in the show. So the way that they angle the shots sometimes are just really off-putting.
Yeah, that's great.
They do a good job of sort of playing a character up to be one thing and then having them have just like a twist away from what the character you thought they were. Of course the redhead was crazy. Like, that was just obvious. But
in anime, yeah.
There was like that moment of hope where you thought that she would just be this really nice person.
So apparently this thing is something in Japan called a cell phone novel. I didn't know that was a thing.
Cell phones are used way more than computers.
A cell phone novel
than
literally work.
It has a feel of a graphic novel. Like, it sort of reminded me in some ways of
like
When They Cry.
Not volumes, but like 4 different stories based on this story, I guess.
So there's the regular novel, which is what we know and love. Then there's the light novel, which is like it's a chapter book. like we had when we were kids, but, you know, for a little bit older people, usually. And then there's the cell phone novel, which is someone's fan fiction, but with original content.
So this thing's been going on for a while now. There was a live-action movie made of this in 2011.
Huh.
Really?
So, yeah.
King's Game?
Yeah.
He's already said it's going to get a lot worse, and so I'm looking forward to when it's not just like fan service or else death. Like,
yeah,
how much incentive do you really need to give teenagers to grope each other and stuff? But, yeah, there's some sort of sadistic, supernatural, probably, element in play. I hope that they explain it, because right now it's just like,
yeah,
well, shit. The opening does
it's I get the feeling they're not going to explain it in the anime, but it's explained in whatever original source it was.
Maybe.
Or will be eventually. Kind of like Gantz. You remember Gantz?
I remember Gantz.
I
didn't finish it, though.
The anime was, like... It kind of implied that it was all just a dream or something. I forget. But, like, the manga kept going for, like, another 200 chapters. And then it had, like, an actual ending. I forget what it was. I never read it, but I got told what the ending was. And it was something interesting.
Yeah. Besides hoping that it's going to be explained, I also look forward to when some people wise up and like, we're gonna punch God, you know? We're gonna punch the king, because I really don't want this to be just something as simple as he's going to reward the last person standing with the title of some bullshit jester, prince, king, whatever, you know? But I hope it evolves into something more than just they get orders and then they have an existential crisis and then they do it or they die. But as of right now, it certainly woke me up a little bit. Like, I was, kind of relaxed before I watched it, and then I'm like, well, ew, I need to, like, shower or something, but,
Okay.
So the Jackie Chan movie.
It reminds me of Liar's Game. I want an anime of that.
Me too. I loved Liar's Game.
Liar?
Nope. I haven't picked that up in years.
Me neither. There's probably I think they went on hiatus. But it's back, and I'm sure there's like 200 chapters just waiting there.
Oh, God.
Ready to be read.
That reminds me of Gamblefish.
Oh, yeah, Gamblefish.
Oh. I'm going to forget about it the second this podcast ends.
I'll write you a reminder or something.
No, you won't, and you know you won't.
I'll do it right now, you stupid complainer.
You're a stupid complainer.
Yes, that is on my screen. And no,
you will not explain.
No one will know what we're laughing at.
Right. So while you do that, like we said earlier, me and Nick went on a date.
No, we
to go see The Foreigner, and it was definitely surprising in all the right ways. First, I'm gonna mention the elephant in the room. Jackie Chan is old.
Oh, yes. I flinched. There was a scene where he was kind of like being sort of suplexed and like threw himself over a staircase, like across. It was like a spiral staircase, and he threw himself across over the guy and landed on the other side. But he hit the wall and kind of like slid down, and I was just like, ugh.
He's old.
And I heard you next to me going, no, you're too old for this.
Does he still do the whole own stunts thing?
Probably.
He probably does.
Stop it. Retire. Play with your koi fish. He trained it.
He trained his koi fish?
Yeah, to roll over so he can pet its belly.
That's hilarious.
So... Basic gist, set in more or less modern day, and there was a bombing in England by the new authentic IRA.
Yeah, the authentic IRA, not like those fakers.
Yeah. And unfortunately, Jackie Chan and his daughter, who were just completely innocent bystanders in this, they got hit as well. Jackie Chan.
Everyone was an innocent bystander.
Yeah.
It was like, this is our show of power, and then next we're going to start blowing up banks like we should have done in the first place. Because, like, that was... They just decided to do it in a random, like, shopping mall.
Yeah. And so Jackie Chan's daughter died, and he was sad. What? He was a little bit upset.
This is true. A little bit upset.
And then we go over to the other side of the plot, which is the original IRA are now all like politicians and shit trying to be all
No, they are.
Yeah.
I believe you. It's just like...
No, like what was the main other guy? Like, he was like the minister of something.
Yeah.
Magic.
No.
He was high up there.
I don't know, but like he was basically in charge of Northern Ireland, I guess.
Yeah, and doing it with like Irish-English relations.
Yeah.
Basically trying to do peaceful stuff as opposed to blowing stuff up like old IRA.
And like everybody kind of like, it was like unspoken that he was like the liaison with the IRA and the British government.
Yeah. And so the people who did this, they knew the original IRA's code words and whatnot. And so whoever did this, it was plotted from the original IRA's like little inner circle. And so he's like, what the fuck? So
someone here is wants to start up the action again, and you naughty guys, one of you has to go out and find out who's active again.
Yeah.
Get to it.
And while this
is bad boys.
And while this is going on, all Jackie Chan wants to know is who were the bombers. And he is not in the mood for taking no for an answer.
Not in the mood, huh?
Not in the mood.
Well, he is for a while because he's like waiting in police stations and stuff, and he's like, "Here's $20,000. Could you just tell me who killed my daughter?" And the cops are like, "Well, we don't know. We're investigating it. You know, this is like kind of how it works. Also, I don't take bribes because I'm a cop. So here's your money back." And here's your 20,000 pounds in cash back.
20,000? That's more.
Yes, yes, that's more. That's
Jackie
more
Chan's
money.
a baller.
That's worth more in pounds than in dollars. Yeah, that's like $30,000. Probably more than that. Anyway,
so a little backstory on Mr. Jackie Chan in this movie. His entire family was dead except for his daughter. So now everybody's gone. So he's got like nothing to live for.
He had two other daughters that got like pirated and kidnapped and sold into slavery, presumably.
Yes, and then the mother died giving childbirth to...
So the moral of the story is Jackie Chan's not a very good father?
No, the moral of the story is he is not the kind of person that you want to mess with his last child.
Yeah, they find out
The other ones are okay?
The other ones are out there somewhere, probably. But probably he's really protective of the last one.
He was like Chinese Special Force or something like that before. So he
was American Special Forces.
Oh, American?
I think so.
No, I'm pretty sure it was... No, he was trained by the Americans to be maybe Thai Special Forces, because he was in some war in the 70s, yeah.
Some war in the 70s, I don't know.
Who knows?
There were all those.
Yeah, so Jackie Chan knows his shit. And so finally gets tired of waiting. He finds out that the IRA is doing all this political stuff, so he's like, they probably know who did it. So he keeps calling the other side of the plot's main character, the like IRA leader guy, the politician. And after a while, he gets kind of sick of it. So he buys a couple of drinks, buys some matches, some rope, and one thing led to another. He made a makeshift bomb, and so he set it up in the dude's bathroom. And so after it goes off, he calls him. It's like, "Do you want to tell me the names now?" The guy's like, "God damn it, I don't know. You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna go kill you." And then creates this whole back and forth.
Yeah, the plot begins mostly from there.
Yeah. And there's like
it's a lot of him going like, "Okay, so I blew up another thing. You wanna tell me who did it now?" And he's like, "I really don't know." But he never says like, I'm working on it. He's just like, I don't know who did it. Go away. Stop blowing stuff up. Stop blowing my car up. Stop blowing my wife up. Stop blowing my dog up. Stop blowing my kids up. Stop blowing Northern Ireland up. Stop blowing America up.
And so it just keeps escalating.
Yeah.
And there's like this whole like subplot of like politics of like, we don't bomb people anymore. Find out who did this.
There was a surprising amount of politics to action in this movie.
Yeah, it was not... Action was secondary in this movie.
Yeah.
So...
It was a good movie, but I was surprised how much not action there was.
Yeah. And Jackie Chan is old.
That too. It reminded me a lot of First Blood, the Rambo movie.
Rambo. I don't know if I've ever actually seen Rambo.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's your kind of movie.
Sounds like it might be. Alright.
First Blood, not the rest.
So we covered all that stuff. And now for...
Who's gonna say it?
The Ancient Magus Bride.
Oh yeah.
Yay!
Forgot about that. So, Ancient Magus Bride.
So, how lowly waifu is the main character?
Oh, she's a whore. I mean, you know she wants the M being magic.
Yep.
So she's a crazy redhead too, a bit.
What is it with that? Like, if it's a redhead and she's in anime, she's crazy.
She sold herself into slavery. Cause what else is she gonna do?
Well...
She could be crazy in slavery, or she could be crazy somewhere else.
Actually, you know what? Let's talk about it next week, because I still have 2 more episodes to go, and I actually don't want to get spoiled too much.
Was there another one?
Super.
No, I mean, was there a 3rd episode out?
Yeah, that I saw.
When?
As of yesterday.
That must have been today, then.
No, yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Because yesterday was when I saw it first. Was it yesterday? No, it wasn't even yesterday. It was like Sunday.
Huh. That's when I watched the second one. Okay, well, you tell us what you think about episode 1.
I saw it, and it was pretty good. I really enjoyed the pacing, especially after that freaking Naruto the Wizard crap. They did not feel the need to cram every single little itty-bitty thing every second. They paced stuff, and, like, it gave us insight into the character with showing, not telling.
Yeah.
And, freaking Naruto the Wizard was 90% tell, a little bit of show after the fact.
I'm gonna be the Hokage. That's my dream.
Uh-huh.
I will accomplish my dream. Yeah. And it looks amazing. Mm-hmm. The character design is good. I don't know what it is about it, but I like it. I read a couple chapters of the manga, and so far it's been 1 episode to 1 chapter.
Ooh.
I don't know if they're gonna keep that up, but why not? If it works.
What do they think this is? DBZ?
Hey, the pacing's worked great so far. Yeah. So the art in that is just as good. So they're definitely keeping that quality up.
This it's kind of hard to explain. Like they're doing magic in a good way.
It's just a good show.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all there is to it.
It's something you can just sit back, sip some tea, and watch. Nice and relaxing. If I was to make a tea out of it, it'd be a really relaxing tea. I guess we'll think about that as more episodes come out. See what we can go with.
The Ancient Majesty.
If I can get my hands...
Oh.
Kiro
I
Imperial
accidentally did it.
If I can get my hands on some of that blue tea, maybe I can do that.
Blue tea?
Yep.
What?
Blue tea. It exists, and I've had it.
I vaguely recall you telling me about this.
Yeah.
What makes it blue?
It's sad.
The way certain things
It's sad, like the girl who wanted to sell herself into slavery. So the gist of the plot is she is like a depressed orphan, and everyone around her keeps dying for mysterious reasons, I guess. And so she sells herself into slavery, and then she goes into the auction, and everyone's super into her, and paying lots of cash money.
Oh, so she's Mikuza?
She's a lowly.
Who?
From Attack on Titan?
No.
Mikasa.
Mikuza.
No.
Mikuza.
No. She's a little bit more rare than Asian. Though she is Asian.
Asians were rare in that world.
It's set in England, but she is Asian. She's Japanese. And she's what do they keep calling her? Slay something?
Not in the first episode.
Okay. I'm pretty sure they do.
No.
But whatever. Yeah, so okay. So it's obvious that there's something special about her because she can see the spirits and things.
The spirits are scary.
Yeah, some of them. Some of them are like, oh, look, it's like a little air dragon or something.
They have really good spirit designs. It does not feel overdone or anything of the sort.
Nice. They're very diverse.
Mm-hmm. And diversity is their strength.
Mm-hmm.
Hi. I think that's
about
all we can say until I can see the next two episodes.
We'll talk about it more next week.
Yeah. And for the final piece, I believe...
John, you watch it.
No.
You're gonna watch it.
No.
Yeah.
Fine.
Okay. Super.
So before before the episode came out, I made a prediction that unfortunately didn't come true. I was expecting...
I said this a long time ago.
Huh?
I said this a long time ago, and you both were like, no, that's stupid, John.
You're stupid, John.
And so when I saw this, I'm like, the fuck?
What?
What he's about to say, I said it like 3 weeks ago.
I don't remember.
Go on.
I made a prediction all by myself.
Yeah.
That Hit was actually going to kill Jiren in this episode. The reason I thought that is because with Goku out of the picture... I mean, Goku unlocked a form stronger than Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times fucking 20. And that new form was still not enough. So at this point, nobody has any chance whatsoever. And so I didn't want 10 episodes of who's going to job to Hit next, or job to a Jiren next. And so I thought, best way to do it is to make everybody go like, oh crap, I didn't see that coming, was Hit killing Jiren, one of his killing techniques, because he's an assassin, and Hit being eliminated. Because after that point, it can become anybody's games with Hits and Jiren both being out. And I was looking forward to that. Like, what's going to happen next? But I feel like they, wrote themselves into a corner. So, well, let's back up a little bit, go to the beginning of the episode, and Hits and Jiren fighting. Jiren can somehow see through the time skip, and is able to counter all of Hit's stuff, right away.
Well, he's faster than extra fast Goku.
Uh-huh.
So.
Plus, that's kind of his thing. I think we said that earlier.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't even move. And so, no, it was Nick that said that. Like, he could just know where a hit's gonna be. But yeah, his ability to, before a hit, be able to block it was pretty damned impressive.
And it was all part of Hit's plan to lure him into a false sense of security, and he used his trump card. A trump card that, at the end, did not work. But it was a cool technique nonetheless.
Yeah.
Trap him in a different space-time.
Yeah, what they should have done is, like, he was frozen in time, like, almost at the edge. What they should have done is destroyed the ground. Mm-hmm. And then he could have fallen off.
Yeah, I don't know why he told them to go elsewhere.
Go elsewhere?
Yeah, he told everyone else on his team.
Yeah.
Just like, they could have taken him out.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess maybe it would have broken the illusion or whatever he was doing if they touched him.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
The point is, they're all screwed.
It was just weird.
I didn't like... I mean, it was kind of neat how they had him just sit down, Jiren just sit down after that. But at the same time, it was kind of dumb. Like, he was just unleashed. He did some awesome things. He didn't even break a sweat. He can end the tournament and literally save his universe without the shadow of a doubt. And he's just like, nah.
Save the universe? Nah.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of wrote themselves to a corner, and they're just kind of like, crap. He said someone should meditate because he's so badass. Yeah, that'll work. It's not. You roll the one.
Well, the entire time he's just been mostly standing there.
Yeah.
Until it was his time to shine.
Exactly. He was like, they wanted to, it seemed like they wanted him to observe the fighters. You know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was a thing. He was learning. He was doing stuff. Now he's literally just crushing rocks with his eyes closed.
Yeah, this is... Now the tournament's getting to a not interesting point.
Though,
Namekians. We finally got to see them, and it was kind of anticlimactic. It's like, hi, we're here. We're Namekians.
We're gonna beat Goku. No, we're gonna fight Gohan and Piccolo.
Yeah.
Piccolo seemed pretty stoked to see his brothers.
Yeah. So they were like, that guy's a Namekian.
We're suing next week.
They were more surprised than stoked.
Mm-hmm. So Piccolo was like not seeing his people in years, just like, hey guys. I'm assuming next week we're gonna see Piccolo and Gohan fight the Namekians.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll do something interesting about that.
They're gonna be interrupted by the Love Squad.
They gotta do something with those already. They're giving him a lot of screen time, but not really
anything interesting.
Yeah, it's like they're not a threat. I mean, that pretty much is obvious. I mean, base Goku just, like, slapped the shit out of the leader, so...
But she believes in love now, so that's like a power-up.
Unless she does, like, a love kamikaze, I don't care anymore. So I guess with Jiren being out of the picture, I guess it goes back to being anything can happen.
Until he comes back.
Yeah. That was... I do not like the way they did that. They could have at least done something like Jiren got so weakened by whatever Hit was doing that he needed time to recover.
Yeah.
But they didn't even do that.
That was, so I thought for sure they were either going to have Hit do a killing technique, because they've played up the you can't kill your opponents or else you're going to be eliminated so much that, I thought for sure they were going to do something with that. And, even if Hit wasn't able to kill him, that he could cripple Jiren would be a big enough thing, you know?
Yeah.
But
take out one of his giant eyes.
Maybe that's the thing. There's gonna be a love kamikaze, and that's gonna pretty much take him out.
No.
Like, not take him out, but like hurt him in the way that I thought Hit's killing technique would.
No.
I saw somebody have a theory that Jiren's eyes are somehow the source of his power. Because, like, every time he does something awesome, they make a big point about his eyes. And when he does, like, that, like, look-away explosion thing, he closes his eyes. And, like, you know, his glare, like, has, like, all of this power and whatnot. So...
Yeah.
And his eyes are just stupidly big and bulky.
They are.
He's an alien-looking guy.
I'm hoping somebody gets sand in his eyes and he just, like, shrivels up.
He literally curls into a ball and disappears. like he's being wrapped into a black hole.
What's... Oh yeah, there's still 2 characters that are invisible, so maybe they're going to pop up and be interesting somehow. I don't know, they just... With the whole... It's kind of like with the Frieza saga. Resurrect the Frieza saga. When Goku was fighting Frieza, and Beerus and Whis were there, it took away much of the danger because you knew, like, they were gonna do something at some point. So it's like, yeah, I'm not feeling the danger of Frieza coming back. I mean, it's cool and whatnot, but I don't feel scared. With this, it's kind of like similar where, like, yeah, everybody's fighting, but Jiren is just kind of there, so, I mean, that kind of eliminates the what's gonna happen at the end. It's like they're gonna fight for well, and Jiren's gonna wake up and just kind of clean house, and Goku's gonna try and pull something out of his butt. Maybe he's gonna make another spirit bomb. He's gonna throw it at Vegeta, so Vegeta can try and do the. And he accidentally eliminates Vegeta.
He kills Vegeta.
Kills Vegeta. Jiren made me do it, and that's how Jiren gets eliminated.
That would eliminate Goku, actually, because he killed Vegeta.
I know, but if he, like, blames it on Jiren, and Xeno-summon's just like, okay. Yeah. So...
that would be a massive twist. Vegeta and Goku eliminate themselves. I mean, that's a twist on par with, nah, I'm done fighting. You can fight my son. Here's a senzu bean.
Alright, so...
So, as, if you weren't listening, Hit did his job.
Boo. It's okay.
So what other type of awesomeness can we expect? The Saiyan, the Universe 6 Saiyans are all back and fighting. Golden Frieza still's gotta do his thing. Vegeta still has plenty more awesome moments to come.
Yeah, Vegeta's pretty much only done random punching and random kicking.
Yeah.
I mean, almost.
Who else? The androids, they're still powerful as hell, so... But they've had the time to shine, so this would be a good time to showcase, like, let's say those 2 hidden characters come out of nowhere and kick out both the androids. That'll raise the threat level. So that'll be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
We still don't know why they call him Doctor.
I hope that right before their universe gets eliminated, wait, this is the perfect opportunity for me to prove why I'm called...
I guess we'll see what happens at this point. I feel like they dropped the ball with the whole Jiren thing. Hopefully they can pick it back up. Then again, they always manage to find a way to pick it up when they do something like this.
Yeah.
Like with Frieza, I feel like they dropped the ball, but they picked it right back up. So...
Yeah, Goku's gonna master that form, I think, somehow.
In 30 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Or it's halfway.
Like 5.
24 minutes. Because, 24:48. 24 minutes left.
I kind of hope they don't do, like a Broly thing. Where he just, everybody gives him instead of the spirit bomb, just consolidates their energy into him.
He just punches you in the eye and he
just pokes him in the eye.
Like the Three Stooges double poke.
He did use the technique in Dragon Ball, rock, paper, scissors. Bringing that back.
After all this time.
Anybody else have anything else to add for this super?
No, I think that pretty much covers it.
Alright. Anything else overall?
No.
I think that's it for this week.
Alright.
Yep.
Wrapping up this episode of Dragon's Flow Teacast, I am the T-Man.
That's good.
Wow, guys. Yeah, let's just forget about the outro and just, you know what? Just end it. End it now.